Hello.
What's happening? Good to see you,
Having
man.
you as well. It's nice to have another show together. We've got a tremendous amount of information to share with everyone today. You and I have spoken a little bit about it, but we're going to focus exclusively on the Sutro region of San Francisco. So this is Sutro Heights, the Sutro Bluff, which we're going to explore extensively, and then the famous Sutro Baths, which has amazing history, amazing construction is still evident, and there's a lot of evidence of extreme damage, and we're going to be able to look at that. So it appears as if this frontal area, which I'd like to show on the maps immediately, so everyone is very familiar with what we're talking about, the area.
Yeah, I just saw your videos a couple of days ago, and just incredible stuff. I can't wait to see it. Um, I don't think I watched one of them, but yeah, man, just crazy stuff. Welcome everybody, by the way. While you do that, Adley, what's
So I want to
happening?
make sure that you can see my map screen. Are you
Not
able to?
yet.
Okay. Let me make sure that I'm where we need to be.
Let me take this. Oh, there you go.
Very good. Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone. There's a number of people, my friends that are watching, and people that have been to these areas. So this is Northern California, San Francisco Peninsula, and the area is in this very small tip. And I have the terrain feature on right now, so you can see a lot of the terrain in San Francisco. But we're going to stay right here and stay focused on this specific area. And I'm going to toggle it to the three-dimensional in just a moment. But I'd like you to be able to see, if you can, with the terrain. You can see this dark shading shows that this is a very steep slope. And then there's a steep slope below, extending down to the shoreline. This is the Sutro Baths area, and you can see the terrain kind of unfolding. This is clearly a triangular shape. So is this area is. You can see this is very steep. There's a lot of terrain here.
Yep.
But then we're going to look at it a little more careful. So if people are interested in traveling here and touring in person, the easiest place to park is right in this parking lot. So this is right below the Sutro Heights and walking trails. And then you can walk along the sidewalk down to Lower Point Lobos. This is where the brick avalanche video footage was taken. The walking began here and walks all the way through and up into this area. Then it's convenient, you're at this parking lot. So when you're done, you can walk up and take this nice little walking path down into the ruins. And we're going to look at all the different places that the tour is going to include today. So it begins walking along through this area, looking at the structure on top, looking at the condition of the structure. This is a castellated feature, and there's a lot of additional concrete, and there's currently trees growing out of it that are pretty old, and there's also remnants of foundation. There's severely damaged iron-capped, strange-looking bunkers. We're going to get on top of those. Then down along the walking trail, it's kind of funny on Google Map. I don't know if it'll show it to us because it's kind of a crack up. You can walk along and look at everything that is viewable. And I hope this, yes. So somebody graffitied this. It's pretty funny. This is on Google Map. So it's like, yes, it's a starport.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny, but so this was a couple years ago, but it's someone, the the city didn't like that, and they covered that up. So it doesn't say Star Fort anymore, not today. But we're going to see that there's entries that have stone arches that are completely melted away. I'm going to climb over this fence here and go in here and walk around and discover that there's constructed stone walls. There are melted bricks. There are granite stairways. There are structures that look like a melted candle, but it's actually a small spire of brick. So very, very steep area. I don't recommend going in there. Probably a bad idea. So then after that, come down, walk along, get a close examination of the entire structure of this up close, and re-enter the area where the bricks were found, especially the T-car bricks. And I've noticed something. I don't know if people have found out about what's here and they've gone and taken their own, but that area has been either sanitized or there's been some souvenirs taken, but it is not the same, and it's been taken apart. So it's
how long ago were you there before? A couple months or more? As far as
I found a T-car brick there about 1, 2, 3 months. Yeah, that's probably correct. Yeah. So that's noteworthy. Then while we're here in this photo, before I move further forward, you're going to see that the damage, and in the footage that I've shown in the past, you'll see that it gets worse and worse as you get further north. So here is their seafront wall. It comes along here, and then it abruptly is destroyed. This whole area, very bad condition, with little pockets of wall on top still intact, also some strange bricks. And then part of it resumes intact here again. But that correlates with what we're seeing here on the bluff, because that's about the same space where it goes from sort of recognizable bricks to completely gone, transformed, flowing into limestone and dust. And then we're getting closer to the baths themselves. So we can see at Cliff House. So this corner seems to have taken the most damage as far as the bluffs and the top of the heights are concerned. Also, this entire front section and the entire infrastructure is completely missing. Yeah. And we'll be able to go in here. So once again, I want to show you. I came in on the upper trail, was able to look carefully at many things up close, come over here, self-authorized fence hopping, and down into this lower section, down into here. We're going to look extremely careful and find out that this whole front is actually a missing brick wall, and it's completely mutilated, and we're going to look and see it from different angles. Then I walk down these stairs down to this lower platform, and I'm able to look into this cut canal. There's blocked up entryways here, and there was a dancing wizard in there. Right in here, behind a very ancient and very broken up metal wall with metal bars into another sector of construction. So over here on the opposite side of that blocked up entry comes through, and we have this constructed area, more canals. And then I pop out over here in that big cut canal, rather tunnel, which actually goes straight through here.
This is your first time down there, or no?
No, I've been down here several times, and maybe 3 times, 2 times this year. I was here as a younger person and really didn't understand what was happening. And I want everyone to just look, have an open mind, look at what this stone looks like. I've discovered that there's currently running water under here now, and there's walls. So there's water that's still running. And then the big one for me, I thought was pretty amazing. This is a location where there used to be a large chimney in an old structure. You can see it in the historical photographs. I'm not going to show any historical photographs today. I want to focus on this tour of the site. So here was a brick vault, a brick inverted vault. And I hit on the top with my hammer. It was already dark and it was solid. And then I hit on the dirt and it made that hollow thud sound when there's clearly a space underneath. And so I started digging. Maybe you saw that. So we're going to look at those things. So what I'd like to do now is find my way to my videos. Can you see that?
I don't see your video yet. No.
I'm up. I think I know what happened. I'm still learning this software. How do I go back? Go. I need to share screen again. Bear with me. Please bear with me. This is going to be I'm very excited to show you this information. It's very exciting.
When you went in that cave or whatever, and those bricks, anyway, go ahead. It's just amazing stuff.
I'd like to just verify that you can see the screen right now with a video, and I've got my mouse pointer here. Yes.
Yes, you're good.
Fantastic. Very good. So for everyone that's watching or in chat or watching this later, please comment. I'm not going to be monitoring, but Mark is going to, and I'd be happy to take questions or advice or whatever. Let's get right into this.
Well, now it went back to us for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to share screen again. Yeah. Just bear with us, everybody. We are complete professionals.
That's right. That's right. All right. Am I back on? Am I back on?
There you go. I see it. Yep.
Okay. So this is on top of, I hit the stop sharing button. That was my mistake. To hide. Okay.
Just don't hit the end stream button.
None of those buttons. So this is so I'm going to let it run and kind of talk over, and I'll stop if you ask me to. I just want everyone to see we're on top of the heights, and this is the castellated structure that used to be decorated with very significant marble statuary. These are very old trees, and there's foundation that's visible. As soon as you step foot outside of the space, you can see the transformation is already starting to become evident. And there's more structure. Just going to let it roll. The color of this internal is actually red. So this is it's a real clue that something's going on. We've got stone construction. And I want you to get a sense of how high we really are. So this is on top of one of these bunkers with amazing iron and gates and caps, maybe some sort of a water purpose. But it is fairly extreme construction up here. A lot of decay on this iron.
Yeah, look at that.
And there's construction everywhere you look. So I'm just climbing on everything.
Oh, look at that.
So you can see that. So this is like some sort of a bunker with a hardened cap, and this is extremely eroded. The amount of weathering is pretty extreme. Iron does, of course, rust when exposed to sea air, but this was extremely thick, and it looks like accelerated rusting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to take note that from the very top, there is construction, and there are some of the signs that we see when there's damage. So that was very thin. I wanted to step on it, but I think I might have fallen through. Very thin metal, extremely thin. And we're seeing some of the stairs. So these are the ones that are shown in some of the historical photos when there's still statuary and construction, and you see people in top hats lounging. This is that location, and we're seeing extreme damage to the masonry throughout. That's probably going to be the theme of the presentation, I guess. It's extreme damage to the masonry, because we're going to find that it's all masonry, all of it. This is not natural.
No.
So looking back at the take note throughout, there's the old structure, and then they've added some concrete. And this, they've even blocked up that archway briefly. You can see that's been done.
Yeah.
But it's a very unusual construction style. This is just the enormity of the materials. Just kind of keep a mental tally of how much material would have to be brought to this remote location, and it's on top of this very high place. I showed you on the map how incredibly high. It's not convenient to get here. It is semi-convenient now, but during construction, it would have been awful. So I'm way above, looking out over the Pacific, just south of the Golden Gate, and looking at all the construction on top. We need to go back to that, because that was really too fast of a pan there. So have a look at that. So these are those capped domes that I was standing on earlier. So you can see how devastated the masonry is.
Yeah.
Not
It's
normal.
looking like rock, basically.
Starting to look like rock. So a lot of this is cypress, Pacific cypress, and there's no eucalyptus down in here. And the earlier historic photos do not have that. So this seems to be fairly recently planted. So there's a lot of additional concrete. So we're seeing multiple eras of construction. There is plumbing coming out. There's pipes. They have something for the people to see.
Wow. Stairs.
That's right. There's stairs.
Just a few.
Just wait till you see the stairs that I was going down later. It goes down the face of the bluff, and I only went a short distance, but it just went down and down, and it was one of those staircases that if you've ever seen people touring at Machu Picchu or something, and they're going down the side of these ridiculously steep sections, it was just like that. So this is part of the structure of it has been completely and intentionally plugged with large amounts of concrete. So and then look here. That's our first look at an old arch of this elaborate stone construction, and right below it is not something that would be needed. Would not need an arch here. Not need an arch above that. And there's more of them, and there's one above this one, and they are blocked. And below them, the construction is for the most part missing. I'm seeing the way that they constructed it, and then I noticed this. So here's this flat surface, and this right here, those grooves are just like a lot of the dressed stone we see on various construction projects. So there's like this one section that looks like someone took machine work to it, and this one here actually has machine marks on it. So either somebody came up here to this ledge and decided to make a little place to set something, or that's what's left of what was under that arch up above this castle that somebody, it doesn't say Star Fort anymore. So we're starting to see some of the familiar color now. It's going to be just going to become obvious.
Gonna drift into break.
So here's more of this more of this arch for no reason.
Yeah, that's an incredible shot of that archway. That's great.
So here's their concrete plug. So obviously, and there's another, how about this one here? So there's an arch under here, but this area here has been completely plugged. That would prevent anyone from going into the structure. Cannot go in.
Yep.
Everything else is fine. Everything else, whatever. So
Yeah.
now we're look at this view. Look at this. This is just crazy. Look how steep that is. You see those cars down there?
Yeah. It's incredibly steep.
Right. Exactly. Really steep. And then I'm like, what's the first thing I see? Zooming over the top. Constructed brick. It's like that is brick and mortar. It's brick and mortar, top down. But we're gonna keep looking because there's people that think it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not brick, right? It's now not brick.
Excellent shot right there. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm loving this new camera. Loving the new
it's
camera.
really nice. Yeah. We're loving it too.
But then I start look at this here. So then I poke over here. Here's our first look at a decayed blob wall. But it's obviously constructed with mortar because we're going to go in there and keep looking at it. We're going to keep looking at everything. So here's this wall. So I'm still on the path. So I'm just peeking in, looking down. Very steep, very scared. So I don't know the age of this older concrete railing, but they've put some barricades to keep people out. And they did a terrible job of keeping me out. But look at this as brick right down here. You just start to notice, so it's like very square constructed, and then not so square, and there's some more coming out. And we're going to notice that there's this red, crusty film over the surface of everything. And it would be impossible to do any kind of gunnighting up here before any of those really, really old trees were installed, because those are planted trees, and everything, every nook and cranny, every place has this crust, and then it's yellow sandstone behind it. And then we're gonna see nothing but that, just setting the stage. That's all we're gonna see from here on out. It's
just
crusty.
a little bit of brick in that whole mess of sandstone and everything else. Supposed nature.
So here's people at sea level, very low tide, right at the base of the walking path, at the base of the cliff house. And so I'm up here still on top, and we're seeing our first round turret-like construction and walls. And then we're going to be looking for passageways and stairways down. And I only looked at a small area, and I was only looking for about 15 minutes. This is worthy of a repeat visit with gear. Climbing gear. I'm very tentative, kind of nervous. But though this is a constructed wall, and here's that red crust again.
Yep.
And here's this. So you can see the tree has taken the root has taken a flat contour to the red crusty stuff, and now we see what appears to be obsidian-like grain growth.
Yes, I like where you're pointing your finger at right there.
Blasting out of there. Blasting out. I just keep wanting to pause, but I'm gonna keep letting it roll unless you make me stop. So how about that?
Wow.
How about this? Red, crusty stuff all over everything. Still intact patterns, and the interior looks like black charcoal or obsidian or black granite or something, but that's some of the most strange material that I've seen. Very strange.
Yes. I see a lot of that, actually.
There's construction right down there. How about this? How about this? Look at this wall. This is below the path and not seen on any historical photos anywhere. This is not part of the history. Have a look at this seawall. This is incredible. It's 2.25 miles long. You're going to see it a couple more times. Most of it's under the sand. The foundation is way below. Okay, so here we're back looking at the front of this castellated structure, and it's terraced, and the condition of the materials, it looks like it's all been remortared, but the surface of it is blistered and terrible. And it looks very similar to what is seen heading all the way down to the beach. And the lower you get, the worse it gets. So all been remortared. This is not original mortar on any of it. So there used to be marble statues on top of all of that, right? So this, I want to show something. This is very interesting. The
planes. Yeah.
So this here has been here for a while. This is a legitimate condensation trail.
Yep.
It's already dissipating, and starting at this point, it will disappear at the same speed as the plane and not linger.
I love when they're next to each other, the Kim and the Con. Yes. It doesn't happen much when I've seen, and they're usually on different parts of the sky. But wow, yeah.
Yes, so that'll disappear in seconds.
Right.
So here we are. This is right at the corner where the gunite starts. This is legitimate gunite, top down, at the southernmost point where the heights actually make the turn. You can see the seawall begins. You can see exactly where I am. Here's the parking lot. And there's construction in here. This is the gunnited section, which is very accessible. And if you look at the map and the rendering of the area, you'll see obvious signs of construction. So fantastic views up here, looking out over San Francisco, and that was Golden Gate Park area where the Midwinter exhibition was, right in the close proximity. All three World Fairs would be within sight if you had a balloon from this location. So now we're right below that. So I mean, that seems pretty obvious.
Yep.
It's really straight, let's keep going.
Nice.
How about
just
that?
Different degrees of damage, all what you far what you're showing, just a little bit from one to another.
So you can see where we are. We're right below this structure that has missing structure below its arches, and up close, it appears to be a transformation. Straight lines, color.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden there's an arch that's not needed.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
So that's the Camera Obscura Cliff House. The Sutro Baths is just right around this corner. But this whole section is looking very similar to what we're seeing here. So just from another place going in, you already see there's structure, 90-degree angle, pathway, just right off the path.
Look at that. You got some great stuff out there.
So something that a lot of people don't realize, and I'm happy to talk about a little bit while the footage is rolling. Most of this area has a very, very large series of very hardened concrete bunker systems. I showed it in the Marin Headlands footage. There's so many military installations here, and they're all abandoned, and they're very strange, and they're closed up, and they're mostly buried. And this is just right near all of it. And I see the construction everywhere. Never seen so much abandoned. Why all the abandoned? So look down this hill. So all of these round blob stones covered in mossy lichen are actually separated by mortar. They're not just stacked there. Look at this brick. This guy's days are numbered. Look at this guy. He's looking at me funny. Don't do it.
The lonely red brick.
He's almost done. Coming. So how about that right there? How many times have we seen that? That
a lot.
Really coarse clay.
Yep.
Inside of a big swollen thing. But here's a brick right next to it, and there's mortar everywhere, and it's dripping. That's a brick popping out. Now, if I say brick too many times, I don't know. I'm gonna stop saying brick so much. How can you not?
I mean, you have to, because it's everywhere.
So we're here looking into this. So this is a ferocious encampment. So down here, we've got evidence of campers that decided to live here. And here's a brick wall fragment. Some would say this was a very convenient place to dump materials. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not having it. It would be too hard to even get it. There are way more convenient places than here. And this is Sutro dumping his garbage down onto his land. That's insane. It's all Sutro. But how about this? How about this crusty stuff on top of the brick that's been dripping?
Yes.
Crusty red. That was like the guy didn't mix the mortar too thin that day and decided to leave this here. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh no! Look at that. Wow. He's like, no.
Love it. I love it.
So clearly, I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think that is? Is that not a melted brick? I mean, it's crusty and red. Unless somebody came up here and decided to, like, you know, think about it. What do you got? Like a tiny gunite, little mini gunite rig, and you're just squirting everything? Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's no problem.
It's not gunite, and look, it turns to white sandstone under here.
Hey, there it is. It's right in front of your face.
Now, this is the area facing San Francisco that's been burnt down, and things happened here. Bad earthquake, everything. Look at that. It started an avalanche. Did you see that boulder go flying?
That what?
Maybe I shouldn't even show it. Watch this. So this tiny piece of brick just gets away from me. You see how steep this hill is. Watch the acceleration of this thing as it goes. Watch this. See ya. Did you even see it come through here?
Yep. Yeah, barely.
I couldn't barely. That's because we're on a 45 to 50 degree angle. The thing was almost at terminal velocity. I couldn't throw it that hard. No way.
Huh.
So I hopefully didn't do something. So anyway, back on task. But you can see I'm only feet from the trail.
And it's like a 75, I don't know, degree angle. I mean, it's really steep.
You'll see little glimpses of the beach and the road below, and then you see the terrain map, and you'll realize that. I mean, look at this. There's everywhere you look is just more structure popping out. So here is this brick wall over here, and then it's something that kind of resembles brick, and then all of a sudden it's yellow sandstone separated by mortar. That is not what they used when they built that and then decided to throw it away here. No way. So then we got this here. So this is clearly brick. It's connected with mortar, but then you look in close, and the entire structure of the grain is turning to sandy chalk with extreme lime residue.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's the pieces, the grains are increasing. The mortar is expanding. It's turning into yellow sandstone, but it was red brick. Nice red brick, a little bit of red brick. So really, let's look at this. Let's keep looking. Now this one here, crack it open, and it's black granite. Now it's black granite inside.
Just crazy. It's crazy.
That's extreme heat.
Yep.
All right, let's have a peek. We have a little sip of water.
Yes. Batman says yes. Madness. It is madness.
So what's that? What's that round turret down there?
Mm-hmm.
What's this? Hello. Red brick.
Everywhere.
And that familiar, so the crust on top, white or yellow sandstone inside. And these structures these walls are going into the bluff. They're not just necessarily built around it. A lot of times it's coming out of. Trying to get an idea of the age of the trees. It's still brick.
Yeah, that would be a big clue about the age of the trees for sure.
Still brick.
About approximately when this happened.
So we're starting to, I believe this is where I find one of the stairways. And it's built into some, I mean, it's every bit as steep as what I've been standing on. I'm trying to show this. You can see the angle. And that's the stair angle. It looks like some pipe coming out.
Glad you can make it the show, Shadow.
How's the audio been? Okay, on my microphone?
Great. Yeah, okay. It's great.
Okay, good.
On my end, yeah.
So notice the red. Now this is the first look. These are granite stairs. These are granite blocks that are built into, you come right over the fence, and I don't know how far they go, but I went down a little ways. And this tree is splitting it apart a little bit. But that's white granite from what I can see, white Sierra granite, nearest quarry 120 miles.
Just a melted mess. Wow.
This is that little component that I was telling you about. This is just standing there, but it looks like a melted candle, but it's actually made of brick. It's just kind of it's what's left. It's self-supporting. So we're going to go down these stairs.
Almost what they call hoodoos or whatever. There's
maybe
something like
Look at this construction. So I'm walking down a stairway, and there's weird construction made out of melted red brick turning into yellow sandstone all around me.
Yep.
Look at all these. Look at all this stuff.
Wow. The stairs are just twisting around.
Right. How could this be? And who built it?
Yeah, who would build that? Bricks, bricks, bricks.
So look how steep this is.
Yeah, and the steps are only come out like a couple inches or so. Well, there's about a foot or so, I guess now. A little different, but.
So again, it's the yellow sandstone under the red crust. And this here is some, it looks like decomposing granite.
Oh, look at that.
Right. I wanted you to see that. So let's go right to here. Right here.
Yeah.
Mortar. Expanding. Changing. Bubbling surface. But other good brick right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking apart.
I'm just staring.
I actually am too. I really haven't had a chance to process much of this, but it's never ending, and I only looked at 1% of it.
When you go back and look over and over again at your videos, you find something every time, something different, and like, wow, how did I not see that?
That's right. That's right. So this is a very popular area. People come here and jog and walk, and many people are suggesting that San Francisco is super dangerous and all the various things. It's been nothing but friendly people, easy parking, fairly clean. I felt great. Had a great day. But look at the face of these terraced sections and the condition of the material. Seems to be the similar slope to what we were seeing that I was climbing on. So here we're going to go up again on top of the heights. That was pretty wild. This is all my raw footage, so it's just not seen and not to be reseen. So here we've got the very suspect material right next to this modern concrete, which seems to be covering possible entrance or other damage to it. But I don't know the year of this. Don't know the year of the concrete.
That's probably a big cover up right there. Yeah. Huge blocks.
Now remember, this masonry, according to their narrative, has all been perfectly strong enough to survive the 06 earthquake.
Right.
So now I'm quite a bit higher. I'm high up above the walking path. You can see the railing down below. Trying to find a way up.
Yeah, it looks like people just mostly jog and run, right? They don't do what you're doing, obviously.
No one's watching. No one's looking.
No one's looking close. That's the key, too.
The view from up here is spectacular. So this green belt here is Golden Gate Park, and that's one of the windmills down here for reference. That is the windmill. So here you can see the seawall, which goes 2¼ miles. And most of the foundation is well out into this area. And I haven't seen it in a very long time. It's covered in sand, and I have never seen the actual excavation prior to the pouring of concrete in any of the historical construction photos. It's pretty unusual. So on top, there's some old foundation elements that are still visible around the perimeter. All of the statuary, all of the things that made this place once beautiful are completely gone.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So let's move along, crossing the street, going towards the crater. So you walk up on you can see how close it is and how devastated it is. This was this was an amazing structure of some sort.
Yeah.
This might have been a vertical wall.
Just annihilated.
So that's this is the northernmost front face of the heights, and the castle is right up on top of this plateau. This would be the corner of the heights that seems to have the absolute most damage, and it's within sight of the Sutro Baths space just below. So it's very nice walking. It's kind of steep. Always remember, if you're walking down, you're going to have to climb out, and it is a bit of a workout. It's a bit down there.
Gorgeous day that day, man.
So here, yeah, it was really nice. You can see it. So it's a very low tide. Take note of that. So where this is wet here was from that day earlier. There was an 8-foot movement of water today. We're in the time of the year where those they call so-called king tides. So the highest it's the highest tides of the year, and typically some of the lowest as well. So that is what allowed me to see down into that tunnel and see the bricks down there below the sand level. The water was gone. So here's the front face of the heights themselves. So the castle is behind the cypress, and this is really messed up material. So here is kind of just getting an idea of the shape. So you've got flat plateaus, flat surfaces. Some of the ways the shape starts to take its shape. You can see these flat angular surfaces, older walls. This is where the bricks were, right here. There's a cavity underneath that space. All right, so this is the edge of the bath's property. You can see there's a stairway that comes down. This is the one I come walking down, and I also came out to this point and looked down, and this section really got people's attention, and I know why. It's straight,
yeah.
Boom, boom, all the way. And then there was a dancing wizard in here. So, yeah, but this is and also this is great. This is great for all you decoders. Decoders alert. Fathom in the gematria is Firebird, which is of course Phoenix. And for you people in the know. Okay, have a look at that. That's
incredible right there.
I mean, look. You can all those holes were bubbles.
Yeah,
all bubbles. It's not from the way it's crashing. It's not from wind either.
No. Wow.
So we'll start. We can see this. You can see the shape of the building. This is the tunnel I was inside of, but there's a tunnel here too. Another tunnel, and these huge ponds were supposedly swimming pools. This is and an ice rink or whatever. So this is how the Cliff House looks today. It's all boarded up. A lot of this was plywood, and it's painted, and it seems like you can get in, and it's quite a large structure, very unusual. Then right across the street is a flow channel. All right, look at this brick right there.
Yeah. Wow. Right in the middle.
Okay, we get the music break. about this guy? I was going to dance with him, but I was busy.
Yeah, not much daylight left. We gotta go, man.
Look at that.
Nice. All those straight lines, bricks twisting.
So this is the leading edge that appears to be closest facing the baths themselves. And this can be hiked on. You can get up in here. I wasn't ready to do that.
Sorry, guys. VJ says, any geologist in the house? I highly doubt it.
Look at this. Look at the surface.
Wow.
We've got vacated brick spaces. We've got expansion. We've got mortar and crusty surface with yellow sandstone underneath. And in case, you know, we weren't looking at the very beginning, it's brick here first. It's brick.
Classic shots of what we're all explaining here.
I mean, you can see this. All of this I'm showing you is all visible on Google Street View. 959 Point Lobos, San Francisco. You can just, that's how I found it in the first place. I was minding my own business. And then I saw this from the Google view and thought there's no way, that cannot be. And then it definitely is that. It's very much that.
Yeah, very jealous of that because everywhere around here is just too much foliage. You can't see anything on Google Maps and stuff.
How about this?
Wow.
You can just imagine it just cascading down.
Yeah. It's just flooding over itself.
If you made a castle out of wax and hit it with a blowtorch and then stopped the blowtorch, it would look like this.
Yep.
This is what it would look like.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to make a castle of wax and then melt half of it.
Hit it with a blowtorch.
Yeah.
So I keep finding these spires and columns and brick construction. I mean, I'm just walking. So I climbed down and it was pretty obvious. And now you can see, you know, how far up there and it's assembled.
Yeah.
But expanding sandstone.
See that same kind of sandstone, which I don't know, about 20 seconds before this shot, like in the mountains of 300 to 600 million years old. That sandstone with it's got the layer around it, which is just structure.
Okay, so this is the big one here. This sign. That's 959 Point Lobos. Now look at this weird thing. Have a look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about right there.
Is that? What is this? There's some sort of thing. Wood and a nail.
Yeah.
Other stuff. Concrete. Cracking. Flowing. Sticking up on top of this is. Did you see how remote that was?
Yeah. I mean, and that's barely left. You know, all below it is what it should look like, really.
Yeah, right below it. That's what's below it.
Yeah, and well, there's brick too. So
there's a flat line where it's holding up an opening, and this is a brick, possibly a brick arch, which we've never seen this destroyed before. And right, so this is your marker, right at 20 mile an hour, right there. You can see it on the maps. You can see it in person. Look up. Or don't. Look right here.
Dripping.
Or maybe it's gunite. These guys are just like, hey, yeah. I'm just not seeing it.
Mm-mm.
because the gunite's down at the end and it's obvious. We know what that looks
I
like.
was about to say, yeah, there's a little bit.
I don't see like multicolored red gunite.
No.
So it's very unusual light. This is maybe 20 to 30 minutes before sunset. So very unique hue at this time. Really shows off the red hue in the bluff. So these are some of the areas where you can. So this is very interesting. So this is where a lot of the T-car bricks were found. That's where the one right here was right here, and right next to it's that.
Yeah.
Stacked lines, yellow, white crust, but it looks like it's been taken apart and cleaned out. A lot of fresh soil, evidence of activity here. Fresh soil. It's been semi taken apart. I was not able to find any more bricks, which there was no shortage of, with letters. Site has been sanitized.
T-car.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Suppose it from, across the pond, the T-car.
Right, bring him here so you can stack him on this guy's property when he's not looking.
Yeah.
So you can see this has been worked. That section's been worked. Look at this dripping out.
Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, I never noticed that.
That's where the brick completely vacated and went liquid and emptied itself. Okay, so I'm starting to find an anomaly as you go south. So there is what appears to be some purposely stacked, unusual aggregate sections of concrete, and some of it actually had surfaces of white porcelain tile on it. Those old tile floors from somewhere, but they're assembled like bricks in a way. There's some assembly, but very terrible, and it doesn't even make sense. It goes from clear construction to stacked garbage. So I'm up well above the street right now, up in this big mix of material, which I've now seen more material that's extremely strange. This is even more modern. This is floor tile. The ceramic mosaic floor tiles.
The volume's a little echoed.
Hey, why is that there?
Yeah.
And there's a brick. So I'm up here, and there's all these things that are built out. Look at this stuff. It's just coming down, just completely coming down, and there's bricks everywhere. I haven't seen any. So that to me is the evidence that someone was there. It's been broken up and sorted through, and there's no more stamped bricks to be found. Brick and mortar. Actually, brick and mortar.
You know the supposed date of the T-car bricks as far as when they say they were made?
So that is maybe 1830s.
Okay. Someone, Frank was asking.
Floor tile. Thick sections of it. An old foundation somewhere. And it's completely coming down the entire hill. A mad amount of material has come down this hill.
Wow. Man, that's just great boots on the ground, man. Love it. It's undeniable.
But when did this happen?
Yes, when, why? I'd almost rather know why.
clearly swollen. And this tree is really old, so now you know, some intact bricks. Time to go down to the cliff house now and the giant retaining wall at the beach, which is also taking a tremendous amount of damage. Losing light, but still right here on top of this crumbling stuff is brick inside. It's a brick. It's a brick. Brick.
I think a broken record.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. It's everywhere. You know, how else are you going to describe it? Because it's all brick.
Now this one here is very good. Watch carefully.
This large mass is a brick structure component. And you can see it clearly with the bricks. But it was part of a greater structure that was up high, and this is completely slid down the whole area. And that's what can be seen down here. So this area here is terribly destroyed. Likely an entrance, maybe an entrance. There's people down here, there's some arches that go into the rock. But then right from here, right there, the wall changes and continues mostly intact. But from here, really bad. And then up here, it's the same. Really bad. It starts to become brick. There's still some brick left. And then it goes around the corner and it's gunite heavily. But a lot of the structure on top is still very much intact. And you can access it, or I was earlier, over that railing. To get on top. Brick is. You can see it from up here. Historic brick structure from an extreme event that is not part of written history. Yet the evidence is here. And there's no one here that's even looking or noticing.
The whole thing was a structure. The whole thing. Everything you see.
And it's very interesting in the old pictures. A lot of this area is kind of obscured, and they've got some funny looking photos of them trying to do things. And it's not convincing. But this seems to be bricks all the way up and down. Here's the flow channel.
And then over here at the cliff house side is where there's the extreme damage. And the hillside has a similar resemblance. And there are some little pockets of bricks contained, and all of these wall surface have been bubbling, but just over the top of this wall, completely gone. And it looks like this.
Hold on. Wes says, I actually remember being on this trip in 2013 and tripping out on those cliffs thinking they were really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they are really weird.
Yeah.
A quick look before it gets too dark. Getting dark, but I stopped at this one space. There's clearly water running underneath here. I can hear it. And there's another big stone wall emerging from underneath the main road.
So so there was water coming out of this hill, going under the ground, and in some sort of a cistern and moving water. And this is part of what you can see from the Google view with some of the terracing. But there's large stone construction underneath it. It's not just the movement of ground. Okay, so now we're back. So you can see it's getting very dark. And there's a lot of material and a lot of construction. There was a causeway there at one time that was built out to that section. But look at the condition of the material.
Just devastated. Just wow.
Once you are able to see the pattern recognition, once you have pattern recognition, let's see if I can get it to a more clear. But you can see the lines. You can see where they were. You can see where they, and then there's a little bit of residual red crust again. So maybe the guy with the gunite, he came over here and needed to get rid of the last little bit he had, so he threw it here. I don't think so. So this is that red crust again. and underneath it is white and yellow sandstone becoming ash.
Just bisking up heat.
And there's little bits of red, and they're still visible. And here's that crust, just like across the street.
Yeah.
So this is the partial component where there used to be a large chimney in some of the pictures. And these kids were basically sitting where I would be digging later. You can see there are lines that start to take shape.
Yep. A little archway there. Yep.
But it's mostly gone to the very light tan with some visible red and moving towards becoming white ash and what we would commonly refer to as beach sand.
Mm-hmm.
So this area here was very interesting. This looks like modern cinder block, and then it goes up to this section, which is terribly damaged, and it was kind of hard to tell where the cinder block started and stopped.
Yeah.
And the next little section is even better. So
I have a hard time with that too. Also, the cinder blocks where I see just like that one looks looks very damaged. But I really try to look at those, and it's confusing because it's cinder blocks, right? So,
or is it?
Or right, exactly.
And is that metal? I don't know. I didn't bring the detector out.
I mean, we obviously see what it's changing to, and it's this crazy state of matter. So
look at this right here. Look at that little pocket, this little zigzag of red showing through, and some more red behind. And then when I go in the tunnel, there's brick inside, so why not? This area looked very Lichtenberg in its nature. It's not a great place to stop for clarity, but it has that familiar lightning bolt root-like structure that would possibly indicate that while it was in a molten state being energized with plasma, it took the shape of lightning or Lichtenberg. This is actually some sort of organic matter, possibly timbers. And this does look more like a constructed wall now, seeing it.
Can you hear my dog barking?
Real lightly. Sounds like he needs something.
All right.
These might be lines. I don't know. I can't be sure. But it's coming out of their structure. So why not? Let's go.
I like your vest you wear everywhere too.
Right, I'm hiding in plain sight. So
Exactly.
this I need to reverse this here just a little bit. I want you to see this. Very unusual on the face of this concrete. This. Now I don't know if this has been skim coated over, but there seems to be what appears to be vacated brick wall covered over with a thin veneer of concrete, which we've seen many places now. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's still intact, but they cover it with concrete. There's still seems to be masonry. So this is that corner where I had zoomed in, where it looked like the edge of a brick wall had been sawn off. This is that. This is that.
Look at that.
So this
straight lines. Yep. Look at those.
And then we start to realize that there's more. There's more going on here.
Yep. Way more below too.
So here's these.
That shot right there, man. I mean, that whole shot.
We're going in
What's
there.
that?
So here you can. I'm going to go right past it. So here's an opening that's been closed. It's been closed up, and this is a construction into whatever this is. So if they are constructing this in the 1800s, that means they are cutting channels out of solid rock, right here. Now, how about this?
Boom! Look at that.
That's vacated brick wall. This is the mortar is stronger than the brick, and the whole surface of this thing is gone.
Yep.
So you can go down in there, but you have to get wet though.
Bring your swimming trunks next time, man. Come on.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Buddy, look out. It's a wizard.
That was classic.
He's coming now. Let's see what this guy's all about. So that's a big iron door, and there were bars up in there that were not visible. And then there's this. Hello.
That was a little shocking, wasn't it? Well, like, oh, hello.
And the guy is like, I'm just going to keep going. So the surface is very black, very dark and vitrified.
Yeah.
You get that shell. It is that crispy shell. Huge sections of concrete just popping off the surface. So look how low the tide is. So this gives you another good idea of what a great moment it was to be here. The water comes up to here.
Wow.
The water was up here that day.
Really?
Yeah. There was 8 feet of sea level. I was at the low tide, and it came from a very high that day. And when the waves are very very strong, they will crash over and get all over everything and up into these channels as well.
Michael says, I saw the footage of it burning in 1966. I wonder if there's any other footage of it burning.
Yeah, it's it was just a wood fire. Is what that was not. And it seemed to be, the fire was very suspicious from what they're reporting in the media, is that it had been pretty much already abandoned, and it seemed to be a case of insurance fraud by means of arson. Seems to be the most likely scenario. These strange lines down here, brick popping out. I'm like on one of those 15-minute shopping sprees. You know, the sun's just about ready, and I got to see it.
Although you get somewhere, this place is incredible anyway. It's just huge, but you get somewhere and you're racing around, and all of a sudden it's like 3-4 hours, and like, oh, I got to come back.
Okay, this those are bricks popping out of giant blocks.
Yeah, crazy shot, good shot.
Which I don't even understand why. Like, why?
Yeah, why? How did that happen?
Yeah, I was getting a little crazy on this wall. I went across the top of this thing, and it was kind of like a 10-foot fall in both directions. It was like a balance beam or something. Right here. Yeah, it's not. That's kind of that's a bad fall.
Yeah.
But you're just out doing stuff. It's probably more dangerous than driving cars.
Probably.
So this would be all underwater later that evening. So the water roars through here, and there's tide pools, and it just gets pulverized continually.
Is that the lowest the tide gets there? Do you know?
This is about the lowest it ever gets. Maybe 6 inches lower later in the month.
Getting ready to go inside this cave. Go in the cave.
I'm gonna let this run for a moment.
All right.
A good light. And really look and see what's going on. Here.
Favorite part's coming up.
So I don't know if people see this when they go in these caves, but they seem to have almost like a spiral kind of a way about them. Kind of a spiral. These, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Why are there bricks? I need to know. Joking? Joking?
So this area, these holes, they go through and out to the ocean. And earlier that day, the waves would have been crashing through here and hitting people. So it's a very low tide and a very rare occasion to be able to even see this. Down that hole, that goes down.
Down inside this super weird place. And they just saw bricks. Not going down there. I'm going over here. These are bricks. These are completely bricks. There's the brickwork down here.
Goes all the way down.
So this is very unusual. Now, right down here in this dark area, that is wet sand that you can stand on only at this extreme low tide. Normally the water's 8 feet higher. I believe you'd have about a 2-hour window with a shovel, and you can dig. And then as soon as you start getting wet, it all fills back in. But I don't know how far down these bricks go, but if they go any further, that means they were installed at a different time period, because the sea level, this is as low as it ever gets, and there's no end to them.
Very dark.
It's about 15 or 20 feet down there. It's quite a bad drop.
And why would you ever put bricks down there that far in to begin with? It's just, it's
So I think I'm
ridiculous.
going to wrap up from here.
This is that light that I brought.
The uniform width.
Working good.
The uniform height. And then this opening into the ocean, the bricks.
So is this carved out? Supposedly a carved out, because this is all supposed to be infrastructure for the workings of the baths. Everything down here is supposed to be built so people can swim in salt water.
Yeah, no big deal in the early 1800s, you know. Brick.
Yeah, I have to go further in.
So underneath.
Okay, so this really illustrates what I was talking about. It's damp sand. So the waves, when they're breaking, they're not even coming here. So this is where the bricks meet the sand. And I'd be curious to know how much further it goes down, why there's a square form here. What were they doing here?
Yeah. Is it black sand or what color was it? Can you remember?
It's just dark tan. You know, it gets light when it's dry and dark when it's wet. It doesn't look like anything, but I don't understand what this is all about.
In this sea tunnel. And I'm thinking that there's a lot more down there.
Can you see that right here?
Yeah.
So you could stand there.
You've got to go down there.
But only on this day. You know, the tide is usually, like I say, they have this fence here, and you'll get splashed between big waves.
So it's rare for the tide to be that low, or?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's low tides, but a couple days a month, very low tides, and you have to really watch carefully. And I just happened to roll in right as it was maximum low.
You can't get this kind of footage on National Geographic for sure.
So I don't know if these lines represent anything. I'm not sure how to process it. Some of the earlier photos show clear construction coming out of here. So here's some more of that red, crusty surface, just the last of it. All right, let's have a look.
Hammer time.
So this is the top of a barrel vault. It's the top of an arched. So if you were inside of a structure and you saw a curved ceiling made of bricks, this is what the outside would look like. And it's quite large. And I hit on it with the hammer, and it sounded very solid and firm. But right here in this dirt, I hit it with the hammer, and it had that very dull thud. And that's why I started doing this here. And this is what I found. Notice the dirt falling into the space below. There's a void.
Black earth.
That is brick that is turned into dust.
Yeah.
Complete dust. Now watch this. It just goes down there like through an hourglass into a cavity. There's a chamber under there.
Yeah, it's just dustified.
Right. What would cause those? So the adjoining bricks. So these bricks here are okay, but just a foot away, they're completely melted. This looks like it might have some lettering. Can't tell.
Probably has a T on it.
Now these bricks here I was hitting on, and they are almost indestructible. These are some of the hardest bricks you will ever hit, and yet 5 feet away, powder. underground. So that was my adventure. Thought I'd give you a couple little nighttime photos of the skyline. So this is from the vista point on the north side, Marin side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Nice. Yeah. Great view.
You can see the Palace of Fine Arts here. Kind of a little blurry.
We talked about that a few times.
That's right. It's a nice skyline, the various bridge. Alcatraz is out here somewhere. And this is that Coit Tower. That has a phoenix on it. A double-headed phoenix. Yes. So here is the final.
Oh my God. The dog's going nuts.
Okay.
Incredible, man. Incredible.
I think we did it. So it was very exciting. It was very exciting. I saw incredible things. And I don't know why it's all there. And I think people need to know it's there and then make their own decisions. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I've got a chance here to look at the chat a little bit. Seeing some, hello, Dana. Pants on the ground. It's a superhero.
Yes,
Loving
he is.
Skateboarding and pointing the finger. That's all. That's like, that's what we need. We need that.
He's great.
Yes.
He's great. He's finding incredible stuff too.
There's Starfort walls and destroyed brick structure everywhere. He sees it. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions before I take off?
Go back to the chat.
Curtis?
Here. I'm just going through some pics there.
Curtis knows about T-Car. Some of my commenters always appreciating VJ and Nate, Mr. Beast.
Yeah. It's right in front of your head. Yeah.
So that was a great time. It was a great time.
Man, I really appreciate showing all that. Oh, it's just incredible stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to do some editing. Those are just raw. But so get this. I was underground in 3 different tunnels in 2 days. 3 different counties, probably. And I've been underground. I went into an exclusive wine cave. And the owners believed that it was good for me to run anywhere I wanted and look at everything, videotaping whenever I pleased, and I did.
Those are some great owners. Hell yeah. It
was very good. It was very good. And there's a lot of structure around that property, and it looks, if you were to plaster the inside of that cave at Sutro Baths, it would look like a wine cave. It's the same shape and size. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. Yes. Well, I was hoping to keep it right about 90 minutes, and I think we pulled it off.
It's a mission accomplished there with epic evidence, man. Boots on the ground. I mean, just incredible. Like I said, and we talked a little bit, but man, when I saw that video a couple days ago, whatever, just outstanding, and appreciate you doing that and showing everybody. And like you said, make your own mind up, you know. So wow, my head's really big.
So yeah, because I'm happy we are.
Everybody, no, I'd lost my train of thought, but no. Yes, make your own decisions and just ask questions and look closely. Just look closely at stuff. You know, you can't find that anywhere, but people like Kairos and a lot of other people out there looking, boots on the ground, and they get close. And then it doesn't make sense, especially when you start looking close. So excellent stuff, man.
Yeah, the close-up the close-up is the way to go. And you can get the close-up camera and touch something. So I know that a lot of people know where San Francisco is, but to make decisions based on what's there without actually being there, we can do some, but it's important to actually see what's happening. And I'm hopefully that I was able to show you what's happening. I'll show you. I have a T-car brick too. Yes.
Yeah, apparently other people do now too, because they've taken them all, right? Just about. You said there's a lot missing.
If you look at the earlier melted brick avalanche video, you'll see that you'll see where they are, and they're not there anymore. The ones that I've shown in the past, the area where I did this backhand strike piece of brick, and there was melted T-car brick and mortar right below it. That area is gone. It looks like they took some equipment and removed it, which is odd. But they're too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Been there, done that.
It's too late.
You can destroy all you want now. But yeah, man.
Well, why don't we say good night and end the stream? And wow, I appreciate you coming along and being able to see this. And you sounded about as amazed as I was.
Yeah, like I said, didn't talk much, just staring. I've seen those one time, but you've got to watch these videos and pause and multiple times, and you see different stuff every time. More melt, transitioning. But yeah, man, it's great to hang out with you, and I really do appreciate you doing this. So
you got to put that Mr. Beast fan comment up. It's pretty important.
This one.
There you go. Brick hard.
Yeah, we're a bunch of bricktards here. It's fine.
Well, things happen.
Yeah,
things happen. So I'd like to have another show with you in the future. We didn't get a chance to look at some of the footage from Alcatraz. We talked about pre-explore, but that's places enough to make anyone mental. I'd like to go back again. There's a lot more underground. Might have to sneak you out here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get in a box or something. I'll ship myself out there.
Amazon, like free shipping.
Yeah, man, you have such incredible stuff out there too. I got to get out there at some point.
It's everywhere. That's the thing. Yeah. Everyone, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching. Share out if you can. Thank you for watching our channels.
Yes,
we see these things, and for some reason, it's important that we show you. And I think it's to help everyone see that this is clear evidence that history has been misleading, endlessly misleading us, and we need to know why that's happening. But they can't hide everything. They can't plant trees over everything. Can't bulldoze everything. The tide goes out, and then you see it anyway.
Yeah. So, there's too much left. I mean, they can destroy, which they have been for decades after this happened. So, there's just too much. There's too much that people don't even know and see, especially because of the trees and foliage. But exactly, it's too late. Cat's out of the bag, and we're just going to keep booting on, right, man?
That's right. So hopefully, if the weather is good, I'm going to go back there this weekend for more climbing and better light, better microphone, better everything. And I might wade in the water. Don't know.
Yeah, I got some waders, man. I can ship you some if you want to borrow them. Come up to here.
And actually, I wouldn't mind getting a paddleboard actually and heading out to those rocks, which aren't that far out there. There's some serious. There's something out there. The causeway at Sutro Baths. Look at for those that are would like to know more about the construction. Look at the early photographs. Read the narrative. That causeway went out to something important enough to build a causeway to, and there was a building, and there was some sort of a sky tram, and there were waterfalls a lot of things happening in the older photos, and you can tell the era of the photo by the age of the car, and some of the views you can tell that the Golden Gate Bridge is not visible yet and from the long distance shot. So very useful. It's also within about a quarter mile of the Legion of Honor structure, and like I said, just down the hill was the 1893 midwinter exhibition property. So this is extremely close. I do need a scuba suit, and there's the thrift shop nearby. But the this property is amazing, and there's plenty to see, and I recommend that anyone that can go on down there. So camera, this is handheld Nikon P1000. So a lot of my climbing is one hand climb, one hand camera, don't fall. But anyone I recommend,
don't break that camera.
Anyone, don't do it. I haven't seen. I'm looking for LiDAR. I'm not finding what I need. It's very difficult, and the sites that show LiDAR are limited and protected and blurred. So that's a good point about that. If anyone does have LiDAR information beyond California Topo, I'll take it. Yes, pants. I love it when you are out walking and you're having a conversation between you and pants. You laugh. I love it. And it's
classic.
I might do something similar. I was going to get some inline roller skates that I was going to ride around on, but I don't feel like hurting myself.
Yeah, don't twist an ankle, man.
Don't want to do it. Well, why don't we end it here? And I'm going to look for you very soon, and we're going to have another great time. And again, I thank you all for being here, and Mark for hosting and helping me figure out this strange tech.
Yeah, tech is very frustrating, but self educated with it is even a better experience. So anyway, yeah, man, appreciate it. Much love, and we'll do it again. Thanks for everybody hanging out. See y'all next time.
Everyone, thanks so much.